Hey, listen, if you're a sales development professional and you are looking for new ways, new prospecting ways, new ways to get in front of leads and prospects, this is your episode right here. I'm gonna walk you through my 4-step process on what we do here using all kinds of different technology and tips and strategies. Some of these things are new, you've never heard of them before, and they work incredibly well. This is where we're going into the digital marketing space. You're gonna wanna listen to this episode, I guarantee it. I'm Danny Gonzalez, and this is Industrial Sage. Okay.
Welcome to Industrial Sage, a free weekly video podcast series all about digital marketing for industrial manufacturers. Hear interviews with your peers and find out how they're solving the same challenges that you might be facing in your own field. Coming to you from the Optimum Production Studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is Industrial Sage.
Hey, we're looking for a few good men and women who are awesome sales and marketing professionals in the manufacturing and industrial space or related fields. Listen, we're trying to build our community here at IndustrialSage.com, and we are looking for contributors to come in and to be able to help us with some blog content on a somewhat frequent basis, whether that's once a month, once a week, once a year, what have you. So if you feel you've got that experience and you love marketing, you love sales in this space, we'd love to hear from you. Fill out your information on the form, do it today, and we'll get going, and we're excited to talk. All right, so I'm super excited to jump into the sales and technology and marketing, all these areas. I just love it. Well, big surprise, we got a podcast called Industrial Sage, and we talk about this all the time. But the sales aspect and using all these really cool new technologies is something that really gets me excited. Sometimes it gets me a little overwhelmed, I'm not gonna lie, because there's so much out there. So I know a lot of times there's a couple different, I'm sure a couple of you are falling in a couple different areas of that. Maybe you're saying, my gosh, I am just so overwhelmed with all this stuff going on. I don't know what to do. Maybe a lot are saying, I don't understand any of this stuff. I'm just kind of sticking to what I've done, but maybe I'm not getting the results that I used to. And then I'm sure there's a bucket of you saying, I love all this stuff. This is the latest and greatest technology. This thing is awesome. This is amazing. So what I wanted to do is just kind of go over a follow-up procedure, a prospecting procedure, a couple different tactics and things that we've done that we've seen to be really valuable. And these are areas, these are things too that we're helping to consult and implement with some of our clients to be able to do this as well. So it's all around that connection between really that sales and marketing area. So salesperson, listen to this, and then you might want to forward this to your marketing person. So the first area is really cold calling. This is a really great strategy and tip and practice, and it's kind of around video. We actually have a webinar about this, how to use video in the sales process. Take a look at that, and there's a little clue there that has a little to do with video. So one of the things that we're seeing a really great, huge lift in open rates and response rate, particularly with cold. It works even better with warm prospects. But let's say you've got some cold prospects you want to start developing a relationship with. And that first step is, do the same thing you were doing before, pick up that phone, give them a cold call. Chances are you're not going to get them on the phone, and plan for that. And what we'll do is we say, hey, listen, Mr. Prospect, I'm Danny Gonzalez, with Optimum Productions or Industrial Sage, and want to talk to you about X, Y, Z. Or I noticed something on your website that needs to be, that you might want to take advantage of. You know what? I'm going to send you an email with a video. Be on the lookout for it. Boom, hang up. And what that's doing is that's sort of helping to kind of tease everything a little bit, and how it kind of, you're not trying to get a phone call. You're not trying to get a meeting right then and there. What I'm just simply trying to do at that point is really just generate curiosity, because I didn't tell them everything that I wanted to tell them. I told them, be on the lookout for an email that I'm going to send you. Okay, so that's like, all right, well, I guess whatever, I'll look at it. So then the next thing I'll do is using LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, it's fully fleshed out, you really need to start using this. And what I'll do, and I'll have pre-researched them ahead of time, but what I'll do is I'll go in and just look at their profile. Not through Sales Navigator, using just regular old LinkedIn. Sales Navigator, if you're not familiar with that, is kind of a prospecting tool for LinkedIn. But go in and just look at their website, because what that's going to do is it will create they'll get a notification, whether that day or later, that you were looking at their website. So get a phone call, there's a voicemail from this Danny Gonzalez guy, and the next thing, they get a notification saying this Danny Gonzalez guy was looking at your profile on LinkedIn. And what is the natural response there? Well, they're probably going to click on that LinkedIn profile of Danny Gonzalez to go look at him and check him out. Just curious what's going on there. And that's why it's really important if you're doing this with LinkedIn, you have a fully fleshed out LinkedIn account, you've got content, you got information, they get an understanding of who you are and what you do. But again, at this point, we're not trying to get a meeting or trying to do anything there. So that next step is sending them an email. It has to be really, really personalized. That's a really big key. If you're trying to just copy and paste stuff and just send things out there, or you're saying, listen, I've got a leads list of 2,000 people, and I'm just going to send this email to everybody, that's not going to work. Matter of fact, it's going to get you into trouble for a couple different reasons. I'm not going to go into that today, but from a marketing standpoint, you could get in trouble for that. Long story short, your domain can be blacklisted. What does that mean? It's very technical. We'll do a future episode on that. Don't do it. That's the net. Be really personalized. Be really intentional. And you get extra bonus points. This is something that we do, and I tell you what, it is awesome. We get awesome results from this. We'll shoot a little video from our webcam, and it'll be like, hey, Mr. So-and-so, I'll write their name on a dry erase board, and I'll be waving at them, and I'll say, hey, Mr. Prospect, I'm Danny Gonzalez, and listen, I wanted to share this really valuable piece of information with you. My company, we help companies like yours really scale and grow leads and grow their business, B2B manufacturing companies. And I was on your website today, and I noticed that you've got some videos up there, but man, you're using YouTube, and your competitor links are popping up there. So when you watch a video, boop, there's an ad for your competitor or other. That's not good. You want to change that. But we help companies do stuff like this, and I just love, maybe we could have a quick chat, and I could show you how to make that change. Boom, done. What that's going to do is when you send that email, you're helping them to identify a problem that they have that they likely didn't know that they had, and you're helping to provide a solution. What you're doing is you're providing value. So you create curiosity at the very beginning, start having these different touch points to be able to prospect and get in front of them, and then you provide value. Notice I didn't come in and say, hey, I want to talk to you about how we can help make all your dreams come true and grow your business and do all that. No, what I'm talking about is I identified a problem, and I showed them on this video. The other, actually, a really great thing too is when you do a video, if you can do a screen capture, so you can literally walk through on the website. I mean, for me, that works. For you guys, depending on what your product or service is, you're gonna have to be a little bit more creative with that. That may or may not work, showing something on their website. It might not, but it depends on the case. But very quickly is I was able to exercise my authority in that space, my expertise. I'm already able to educate them and show them something that they didn't know about. That is, and when they see, oh wow, we have a YouTube video on our page, and our competitor links are popping up there. Oh, who wants their competitor popping up on their homepage of their website, or their video nonetheless? You don't want that to happen. So guess what? I'm going to get a phone call. I'm going to get that meeting, and we're going to have that conversation, and I'm going to walk them through how to do that. Okay. Now, typically, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch kind of thing. But there's a couple other things that you might want to put in there. Not every time that you do that are they actually going to call you back or get back to you. So taking that next step, LinkedIn, doing a phone call, leave that voicemail, LinkedIn, just search, don't add them, sending them an email with a video if you can. And then that next step, I'd go back to LinkedIn a couple days later, send them an email through LinkedIn, referencing a video email, or the email with the information that I sent initially, providing value, and then going from there. That next follow-up that you want to do, it wants to be high value. So that next email that I want to send out there, maybe it's an article relevant in their industry. Maybe there's a change, there's a policy change, or something that's going on that is really pertinent to them, and that's something that I think is really valuable. Like, hey, I just noticed that you guys, there is Georgia just passed this new regulation where there's a tax decrease on building data centers or what have you, and that, wow, I'm sure you know about this, but I was thinking of you, and this is really interesting. And here's a little sneaky thing: you do that, all right? Again, I'm not asking for a meeting, but in your email signature, if you don't have that, you need to have that. Have a link to some type of content that you have in there that is relevant to them. Again, you're not promoting that directly, but you just kind of have that there. Again, you're creating this curiosity through all this. There's all these different touch points: LinkedIn, phone call, email, LinkedIn again, all these different things. If you're doing that video thing, it's like, wow, this is really different. There's all these different things going on. Again, I haven't said, hey, listen, I want you to buy from me because we're the greatest things since sliced bread. That doesn't work anymore. It's not going to work. You got to continue to provide value. So follow up with really relevant content. And a good example of what that content could be in there, maybe it's a webinar that's coming up that is specific to them and their industry and the challenges they have. Maybe it is an ebook or maybe it's a blog article. Maybe, hey, here's an idea. Maybe it's a video. Maybe that you have educational content that you have for free that they could download or subscribe to. Any number of these things, right? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to make sure that every step of that process, when you're reaching out to somebody, that you provide value to them. It could be an article, it could be a piece of content that you have, it could be somebody else's piece of content, it could be a tip or a trick. Hey, listen, I just went to this conference and I just learned about this really, really cool LinkedIn plugin called Crystal Knows. And what Crystal Knows does, it's not about math, it's not about Crystal Knows, which is kind of weird. It's a real plugin. And actually what it'll do is on LinkedIn, when you're looking for people, it'll tell you what their personality is. It's a little creepy, little big brother, but man, really valuable. So you can go click on it and you can tell how you need to talk to that person, what they resonate with. Do they like big language and they like the stories, or are they like, I'm very logical and I just want to hit the points and you just give it to me straight and keep it really short. That's really valuable information. Hey, I'm going to maybe send that tool or whatever. And guess what? I'm going to send you that tool as well. We're going to put that in the show notes, Crystal Nodes. Check it out. It's actually really cool. We use it. So anyways, I'm just putting together some examples of just really relevant information. I think you're starting to be able to see that picture. It's just position yourselves, yes, as an expert in your industry, but also position yourselves as an advocate and somebody who's very knowledgeable in these different areas that is helping to provide value and solve their challenges that may not necessarily be directly related to that product or service that you're selling. If you do that, you're going to really start building a following, and you're going to get people who are going to be really interested, and they're going to talk to you, if none other, just because they're like, wow, this was really helpful, thank you, like, I'll give you 5 minutes. I'll give you the time of day. And that is really that goal in that prospecting area and that following up is just continue to provide value. Gary Vee, if you're familiar with him, he's like the #1 podcaster on iTunes. Big guy, right? He just keeps talking about value. He keeps saying, just give them value, give prospects value, and then boom, right hook. Big ask. Because once you've provided value and people are like, wow, this is helpful, this is great, thank you. It's not self-serving. You kind of feel like, hey, wow, you did this for me. Like, yeah, what can I do for you? That's the name of the game. That's what you got to be doing there. So those messages of, hey, call me because we're the biggest, baddest company, it's not working anymore. So there's awesome tools that you can use to help to be able to do that. And so hopefully this, the framework was valuable for you. This is one of the tips and one of the tricks that we use internally, and again, we use with a lot of other of our companies. So, anyways, hopefully you found this valuable. And if you're listening on iTunes, well, that's all I got for you. You can go to IndustrialSage.com. You can take a look at the video. We'll put the links in the show notes. We'd love a review if you're listening on iTunes. If you're watching on any of the social media, please follow us, click us, like us. If you're on IndustrialSage.com, you can subscribe to the emails. We'll send these videos to you every single week. And without any further ado, I am done talking. You're done. This was good. Thanks.